Welcome to House Money Podcast and our Season 3 Preseason Over Under episode. I'm Easy and I'm the host. Joining me today, T-Bone.
T-Bone!
And Chalkboard.
Chalkboard.
What's up, fellas? What's up? Season 3. Welcome back. New season, new features. House Money Podcast moving up. How was your off season?
Off season was pretty awesome. I think it's kind of ironic that we're here taping the over under, and I probably would have taken the under on House Money 3 seasons in. I think when you first pitched it to us a couple years ago, it seemed like a great idea, and I enjoy it. I was looking forward to today.
Yeah, the off season sucked. It's really sucked. COVID sucks. It's really been bad. This is the one bright spot. The NFL, one of the few bright spots, sports wise, not slowing the train down. And just glad that they're going because no football would just be even worse.
Yeah, I've seen that we've already had some.
This year sucked. Let's just put it for what it is. It sucks.
There's already been some casualties in the college ranks, so I'm hoping that this season can go through.
Well, just the fact that we're even doing this show today, I mean, we're preparing for a season, they're preparing for a season, and as long as they keep the show rolling, I mean, we're going to as well. I feel like we need to prepare like they're going to play 17 games because that's what they're preparing for.
Yeah. I think colleges are about to just rebel against the NCAA, and you might see teams like Ohio State and a few others just break away because they're not going to have Clemson and Alabama and all these other teams fighting for what could be their national championship, so they might not put up with it.
I saw the thing about the schools breaking off, and then even to the level of like some players transferring to other schools just to play. So it's
SEC people coaches are asking for that to let them do that. Yeah,
I think was that old Kiffy.
Yeah.
We'll take you down at Ole Miss.
Yeah.
Well, the difference with the NFL, as far as we're concerned, is the NFL's paid, so every person has.
NFL's a business.
That's right. They all have skin in the game, so they're all have a vested interest in playing these games. So, only thing that we can all do is hope for the best, obviously.
Yeah.
So,
I agree.
Speaking of the best, House Money Podcast, fellas, we're trying to move on up here. If you haven't noticed, we've got the new YouTube channel this year coming at you live. We got a Facebook page. We got a social media presence. I mean, we're doing big things.
Sounds great. I didn't even know all that, so that's awesome. That's I'm enlightened like the audience right now. That's awesome.
As he sits down in the seat, he's like, "What?" Now I know he has been looking for the ad in the paper.
Exactly.
Didn't pass any house money billboards, is what you're saying.
Well,
it's a brave new world, T-Bone.
we bring along T-Bone slowly. We just feed him breadcrumbs. We just let him. He's on a need-to-know basis.
Yeah, spoon fed and stuck in the dark. Yeah,
and I know.
Actually, I'm not stuck in the dark. I just don't get it. Yeah.
Well, and you just went over everything. So we're on 5 platforms now? Is that correct?
I think so. I think so.
So,
and honestly, the way you started the show, the fact that we made it to season 3 and 5 platforms, shout out, fellas. Way to keep at it. So
HMP House Money. Never mind, I ruined it.
Good job, Doug. It's all right. So let's talk about this season in season 3.
Persistence.
2020. The season total over unders. Your process. Where do you start? How are you handicapping the 2020 season? With COVID out there, with the fact that some of these teams are going to be playing with less fans than they're used to. This is kind of like the Wild Wild West. I think we're liable to see all kinds of stuff this year. Chalkboard?
Yeah, I think this year, like you say, if there was ever going into a season completely blind, like you say, I already saw it. Well, nowhere in California, I think, are no fans. Most places are going to be no more than, a third, maybe a fourth at the most. So home field advantage is going to be gone, which everyone knows is basically a field goal. So it's like, are these games going to be – I guess there's still a little bit of play because you still got teams traveling, whereas the other team is at home. But, you're not going to have to deal with the crowd and all that. But it's just – I don't know if that's answering exactly what you were talking about, but, it's something none of us have ever had to deal with before, experienced.
It's huge. You got a team like Kansas City at home with their crowd. Pittsburgh with their, the terrible towels, all that shit. You're right. It's like Miami. Miami doesn't have a great home crowd, so how's it going to affect them?
I was going to go in that direction. It's like the teams that have a poor attendance.
Yeah, teams that have poor attendance or don't have rabid fans. It's going to hurt the Kansas Cities of the world.
Say like playing like in New Orleans in that dome or something.
Yeah, so it's going to be huge.
What about the fact that there's been no preseason? What about the fact there's no
right? So
Well,
rookies that you might think normally would help your team, yeah, they're not going to get acclimated. You're not going to. The teams that benefits are actually like a New Orleans, a team
Veteran
like
teams.
Yeah, veteran teams that already have that cohesiveness and teamwork. And
right, because the teams
don't have to introduce a lot of young guys.
his-
Oh my God, I'm unplugged.
to his point, I thought you were playing an acoustic guitar.
Oh shit.
To his point, I mean, in the preseason, it's only 4 games. Basically, the starters played none in 4. They played 2 or 3 snaps in 1, 2 or 3. They only really play about what would break down to a half for the entire preseason. So it's more or less like a dress audition for all the new guys, guys trying to catch on to teams. But more so than that, it's are these guys in football shape? I know you're doing the drills, you're doing all the stuff right now, but I've already seen Hill, I think, pulled a hamstring. Somebody else came up lame, I think, just today. It's like, and I'm sure they'll be fine. They got the greatest doctors in the world working on these guys, but it's like, I think it's different from like lifting weights versus being in actual contact football shape.
So you talk about contact. Tackling is going to be atrocious. I think offenses should have a huge advantage.
I was going to talk about this because I feel like if you were ever going to a season, chalkboard, like in the overs, like you say, because right now it's going to be all the advantage on the offense. Tackling's going to be tackling was already kind of being held back anyway just because of all the flags.
Yes and no. A lot of times people think the defenses are ahead of offenses going into camps. So right now the defense is kind of ahead of the offense.
I think as a unit, the defense could be better.
I don't know. It's and throughout the season, how many people are going to get COVID? How many how many great players are going to get COVID through the season that's going to mess with some of the lines we deal with. It's
well, at one point, Ian and I were talking about this, and I think you were the one that brought it up to me. I think and please take it from here, but it was like the quarterback and the face of the league type deal that it's going to be more of a thing with the NFL. On like the stars.
Right. I mean, the quarterback is a next man up league, and we don't really know who's behind the helmet and the mask per se, unless it's the quarterback or a star. So as long as they can keep their stars healthy, their quarterbacks healthy, I think they're going to be fine. It's just next man up.
We all participate at a certain level of fantasy, so we're pretty good with individual players on individual teams, probably more so than just an average. Now our listeners, yes, but just Joe Blow, just whatever, just an average person. But like you said, and this article I read was it was almost dismissive because it was like, well, as long as, say Christian McCaffrey, Saquon, Brady, Patrick Mahomes, it's like, is these guys, whatever, if something happens to like an offensive lineman, a defensive tackle, it's like, people didn't know who this person was anyway. They're going to put in another guy. And that really is wrong to those guys because we know how much it takes to get there. But, that is. They're promoting the stars.
Yeah, it's reality.
So,
well, if you got anything more, T-Bone, or you want to jump into some of these teams?
I'm ready to jump on in some
All right.
stuff.
I agree. Let's do it. Well, I figured we'd follow the format that we did last year where we're going to discuss the top 4 overs and the bottom 2 unders and then maybe throw out a few picks that we like on our own. So after looking through here, then you got 2 coming in at 11.5. One of those being the Kansas City Chiefs, 11.5 over under. They were 12-4 in 2019, Super Bowl 54 champs. They returned 20 of 22 starters. The offense could be even better with Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, Kelce. They added running back Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Is that how you say it? Helaire. In the draft, he's drawing comparison to Brian Westbrook out there.
Oh, he's from LSU, that kid.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Their defense started to come on in the second half of the season under Spagnuolo, allowing 21 points or less in the last 6 games, including 3 single-digit games. It's hard not to see Kansas City getting over 11.5. What do you think, T-Bone?
I think they're right there. I looked at their schedule. I see right at a 12-4 mark. So that's pretty close for comfort. So, but them in Baltimore are the cream of the crop, probably in the whole NFL. So somebody's going to have the best record. So, like you said, they've got the weapons on offense, defense. They've got playmakers. They've got one of the best coaches in the game, probably second only to Belichick, honestly. And like I said, I don't know how the home field thing with no fans is going to affect them, but they're a team that can win on the road anyways, with or without fans. So, but they got a pretty tough schedule. I looked at their schedule, and I see them right at probably the 12-4 mark. So,
but nothing, no strong feelings either way. They're just a
I
good
would
team.
definitely take the over on the 11.5 because last year they lost Mahomes for X number of games and still ended up with the second or third seed.
At least 3 games, I know.
Yeah, they were still the second or third seeded team in the AFC.
Back to his point, next man up quarterback. It's
Yeah. But, I mean, you lose a Mahomes, I guess is my thing. And I'm looking at like if you have Mahomes for every game, I mean, it's,
right.
You have to
Chalkboard.
outduel this guy.
Well, I was really waiting for the patented gun to my head. I would take the over. But I have to agree. I was sitting there looking at it because I figured he would go over. I think most people would go over. I know they've gone 12 or more 3 out of the last 4 seasons. Mm-hmm. I bet T-Bone and I, without looking at each other's notes, I'm sitting on 4 losses too. Just spitballing out here, I had them losing, and they're all road games: Baltimore, Buffalo, Tampa Bay, New Orleans. And it was like those were the 4 that I saw them losing. We did talk about it. It does make me think a little bit because a team that's so used to having so much crowd support, is that going to affect? But just not enough to where like I feel like it would make me come off of it. I'll use your quote since you didn't. Gun to my head, I would take the over. I just feel like that, nothing's happened. I mean, other than the crowd not being there, and then you always have like the Super Bowl hangover,
It's true.
And there's teams that we've all seen over the years. It's like, man, this team's awesome. This is going to be a dynasty, and then they kind of fall off. I don't think this team's going to fall off. But we say that all the time about everybody.
What is it, like every year, one of the teams in the Super Bowl
doesn't even make the playoffs.
Right, or something, or takes such a dip. Yeah, I think that would be San Francisco in this.
Yeah, I would agree.
I hate to predict the future in my upcoming San Francisco take, but if I have to choose one of these 2 teams to fall off, it's not going to be Kansas City.
No, I agree. I'd say San Francisco does, for sure.
Well,
yeah, I think one of these teams is a golden nugget, the other one's gold plated.
Oh gosh.
So
hold on. So last year we walked out of this show with 3 plays, and right now I don't think we really discussed how many plays we're going to walk out with today. I don't really want to take 11.5 in a season with so many uncertainties.
No, I agree with you. It's not. Yeah, I don't feel that strong on it too. Yes.
So let's just kind of kick it out there, and maybe we come back to Kansas City later on. I just am, again with so many question marks this year.
So what I'm hearing you say then is COVID is one of your chief concerns.
Wow.
Stop.
My God.
Stop. Stay off
Did
the bell.
he really? Did he write that down?
We're back, ladies and gentlemen.
Was he just waiting to pray on that? I mean, what?
I hope not. I hope he ain't been sitting on that for a few days. I hope that came up and he's like, I'm going to use it.
It's on my forearm.
Wow.
So we're in agreement. That goes on. If we only had like some sort of heating utensil, perhaps a back burner to put this game on, this team on.
All right, we'll just hold off on Kansas City. I don't think any of us like it that much. All right, Baltimore, the other 11.5. Surprise first-round losers to Tennessee in the playoffs. They win 14-2 in the regular season. Lamar and that ground-and-pound offense is back. Can they duplicate last season's success? See any regression in the Ravens there, Chalkboard? What do you think?
I think Baltimore has more going for it because the way they got put out of the playoffs, Kansas City's coming off the Super Bowl. Baltimore has the number 1 easiest strength of schedule this year, and their opponents are .438. They're number 1 as far as the easiest strength of schedule. They actually have the advantage of they're playing Kansas City at home.
Yes.
So that's going to be the difference in me. If you made me take one of these 11.5 teams, I'm taking the Ravens.
Really?
Of course, we talk about no home field advantage, so I don't know that means anything either. But to your point, Pittsburgh, I think, will be a little bit better because Roethlisberger is back, but Cincinnati still stinks. I don't think Cleveland's that great. I mean, yeah, they got weapons. Baltimore has actually improved from last year. They went out and got a guy in the draft, another young running back.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they stocked up in the draft. Free agency, they cleaned up. I mean, they cut Earl Thomas the other day, which shocked me, but they got to, like, his play was falling off a little bit. So they, to me, are actually, I really think they're going to win 13 games this year.
Well, I'm glad you talked about some of the teams in the division because we kind of skimmed right over that. So I guess y'all just assuming the Chiefs are going to sweep the AFC West. You know, the Raiders have a new stadium, right?
No, I think Baltimore's got a better chance to do more things in their division than Kansas City does in theirs, actually. I think Denver's vastly improved. L.A. maybe. I haven't looked at them enough. I mean, Las Vegas. God, I can't keep up with them anymore. Las Vegas, yeah.
Well, I mean,
I don't know about San Diego. Los
a
Angeles
city.
Chargers. Oh man, I can't even. This is terrible. Yeah, so I don't know. I just think the Ravens just went out. Kansas City stood pat, which is great because they're an awesome team and they got the best quarterback in the NFL. But I actually think Baltimore went out and got.
I don't
better.
think either one of them goes worse than 4-2 in their division, and they could both conceivably go 5-1, 6-0 in their division.
Yeah.
So real quick, between the two, which one do you like better, Baltimore or Kansas City? Chalkboard.
I like Baltimore.
I like Baltimore better.
Really?
I do too. Yeah.
Wow, interesting.
But that did make me think when he was talking about Kansas City going to Baltimore because it doesn't even matter because there's no fans. So
Well, again,
now
just
you're
the
talking about travel.
traveling.
Yeah, the travel's just Midwest and East Coast. It's not like
Do we know what
West
game that
Coast.
is? Is it week 3 or 4? It's fairly early,
it's
I believe.
fairly early. I think it's the first 3 weeks. Not sure, but yeah.
All right, well, I don't know about Baltimore. Again, we're at the same part. We're giving up 11.5 in a season with so many uncertainties.
Right, no.
Lamar gets sick,
Yeah.
The offensive line gets sick,
He had a groin pull the other day. Yeah, you're right.
11.5 just seems a lot.
Did you see the video when he was like playing football on the beach and he one of his boys, I guess, threw him a pass and he fell over a jet ski that was up on the deal. So then they released you can't be doing this in the off season or whatever. So YouTube it, it's crazy. It's Lamar beach football.
Right. And a couple more things could happen before the season. There's still a few guys out there. There's Antonio Brown might come back at some point. You got Dez Bryant out there trying
I was going to say it was Dez, right? That they worked out a couple times. They didn't offer him, though, did they?
There's Jadeveon Clowney still out there unsigned. So there's still some pieces floating out there that could really help a team. So.
And I feel like a team like Baltimore is more set
Baltimore
up.
with Brown, oh man, that would be.
Well, and most of these guys, I mean, obviously at the end of the day, everybody's just looking to get paid. But wouldn't you rather go to say Baltimore than Jacksonville or something? You want to go get a chance to get a ring.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's stick Baltimore over here. I circled the fact that y'all like them better than Kansas City, but let's move down the rest of these. And,
Sure.
and if y'all want to come back to Baltimore later on, we'll come back to Baltimore. All right.
You kind of segued a little bit into the Niners, if that's where you're
Yes.
thinking.
Moving down one level, San Francisco at 10.5. Losers to Kansas City in Super Bowl. They went 13-3 in the regular season. They returned 18 of 22 starters. But the losses of Buckner and Day from that defense is going to be huge.
Yeah, they did get a good rookie named Kinlaw to take Buckner's place. Is it Buckner they lost, did you say?
Yeah, Buckner.
Yeah. So that might be offset a little bit, but I think they're going to come down some because we'll talk about later, but Arizona really helped themselves out. Arizona gave them all they wanted last year, and they're only going to be better with Hopkins coming on board. So that division's tough. Seattle, that's a tough division. So I don't see them. I would take the under on that.
Well, I mean, really, did Jimmy G prove himself in any way last year?
No.
Do you have any faith in him?
He's the worst quarterback in the division. I'd rather have Kyler Murray, Wilson. Who's the other quarterback in that division?
49ers, Arizona, Seattle.
L.A.
Oh, golf.
Golf. I mean, golf's probably just as good. I mean, I just don't think Garoppolo's that great. I don't. I think he's I just think he's.
I think interesting. The last 5 years, San Francisco win totals 13, 4, 6, 2, and 5.
Right. So what they did, they built through the draft, and their defense is awesome. Don't get me wrong, but they don't have who's their weapons on offense. They lost.
They don't.
They lost Breida.
I just had that pull
They got
up.
Mostert, and they lost Emmanuel Sanders.
Yeah, Debo Samuel. Debo
And
Samuel.
he's been banged up. Debo Samuel's been banged up. So they don't. They have a rookie. I think they drafted a rookie wide receiver, but they don't have any weapons on offense. So. Yeah, I think
they're just too reliant on the defense.
Yeah, I definitely think they would. And Arizona was lighting them up last year with that defense, and now they got Hopkins.
Well, hold that thought on Arizona. Chalkboard, what do you think about San Francisco and the 10.5?
No, it's exactly what I have written down here. The same. I just feel like that they're going to come back down some. I don't think they're going to fall to 8-8, but I think they're going to be 10-6 ish.
Yeah,
9-7 maybe,
something like that. Yeah.
I mean, like you say, there are teams in that division. I mean, we were just talking about the other two teams possibly being 5-1. They
I
could
like
easily
them better than the other two teams to go down instead of the other two.
Agree.
Baltimore
Yeah.
and Kansas City.
I'm much more on San Francisco under 10.5 than either of them two overs.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. Chalkboard, you guys something else to say on that?
Nothing could be finer than a dropping 49er.
Hope I didn't break Eric's Excalibur pen over here.
New Orleans Saints 10.5. They losers to Minnesota in the first round playoffs last year. 13-3 in the regular season. 10.5 feels low to me. I'll be honest. The offense looks great. The addition of Emmanuel Sanders, we just mentioned him. This could be the most weapons Breeze has had in a long time.
Yeah.
Their defense is underrated. They're consistent.
Yeah, they got Cook at tight end. He's pretty good. They got Kamara's healthy this year.
Kamara needs to have a big bounce back here.
Yeah, Kamara was banged up. He said he was only like maybe 75%. He had a torn meniscus, I believe, in his knee. So
yeah, I think this year he could be like a Kamara super sport.
Stop it. So they 13, and 11 in the last 3 years. I mean, they've exceeded this total the last 3 years in a row. So why wouldn't they do it again?
Is it their age? When will it finally catch up that Breeze is 40-plus years old?
Dude, I'll tell you who's not old is Michael Thomas.
Yeah.
He is basically two receivers.
I mean, New Orleans is stacked. They are stacked.
T-Bone, you say that, but his backup's Jameis Winston.
Yeah, true.
So if he does go down.
And Taysom Hill, right? That young kid.
Right. The pocket knife or whatever, the Swiss Army knife.
I love the over on the 10.5. 10.5 is just, I love it.
Well, and I was kind of surprised.
I think they win 12 games.
Because of all these, I looked at them all just yesterday, and this is one of them that really hadn't fluctuated. It was still sitting at the 10.5. A lot of these had moved. And I really expected it to be 11, 11.5.
Well, their division, I mean, my God, Carolina sucks.
Carolina.
Atlanta's
better. Atlanta's going to be better.
Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay will be better.
Yeah, Tampa Bay will be better.
Say they sweep Carolina, they'll
split with Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
Split with Atlanta. Still 4-2.
Yeah. They're the best team in that conference. And, every year, teams are going to win 11, 12 games that win their division.
To me, the top 5 toughest games they had was at Tampa Bay, at Philly. Then they have the Niners come there, Kansas City come there, and Minnesota. Kansas City's got like a pretty rough schedule, man.
Yeah.
Going back to that, because they play at New Orleans and at Baltimore.
But I like the Saints better than Baltimore or
I like
Kansas City.
The Saints, then Baltimore. Kansas City would be my third choice out of that.
Yeah, I agree.
Now, New Orleans would definitely be. I didn't even think about this. We were going to talk about this, but this is probably being in the Dome. Talking about teams that thrive off the home team.
Yeah.
Well, I guess you could look at them too in their turf games too, because they're pretty tough. Obviously turf compared to grass. I don't know. I like them and San Francisco are the two out of all the ones we've looked at. Those are the two that stick out to me.
Well, and you will tell me if I'm wrong, but wasn't it last year the first game that they played at home? Didn't they lose?
Yeah, it reeled off 13 out of the
Tampa Bay.
Yeah,
and it was like so. Yeah, they
got on a roll and.
They're tough to call.
We were talking about, too, they're a veteran-laden team that doesn't have to introduce a lot of players into a rotation.
You should know Sean Payton's book inside and out.
Oh, yeah.
No surprises.
Yeah. Right.
No surprise.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's talk about some teams that aren't quite as good, and maybe we'll circle back around to them other ones. We talked about the bottom two. The bottom two this year is the Washington football team at 5 wins. 3-13 in 2019. They completely revamped the organization in the offseason, going even as far as to change the name. New head coach, new offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, new everything. But there's still question marks all over the offense.
Here's my issue with Washington. Two things stand out. Their whole front office is in disarray. They've had all kinds of sexual misconduct charges, things of that nature. All kinds of crazy stuff. That right there kind of hurts. Now, Ron Rivera's got cancer. Wow. How's that going to play out? This guy's going to be trying to coach as he's battling cancer. Man, he's already taken on this I can't say it, Herculean task. Can't say it. And now he's got cancer. It's like, how's this going to play out? So, I think they're going to be bad on for I would take the under. Their division's not great, but I could see Dallas sweeping them.
Philadelphia.
Sweeping them.
Giants. Maybe split.
Maybe split.
Yeah, maybe split. They're not good. They got Adrian Peterson's their feature back. He's 35 years old. Their running back just got nailed for rape. Who do they have? Who's their weapons? What do they have? They got Haskins as his second year. He didn't show a lot last year. So I'll be honest with you, I think what will happen is they'll just start out rough. I think they'll just go down and play for Fields or Lawrence and try to get one of those top picks for a quarterback next year, and that's just how it'll be. They'll kind of tank the season, I guess, is what you would say, or they.
Looking at the schedule, I tried to write down 5, and this was the try. I did put one win with the Giants. They do play Cincinnati and Carolina. And then
Burrow's been tearing it up in Cincinnati.
Right, like I say, this was stretching for 5. And then the other 2 were at Cleveland and at Detroit.
Yeah, Cincinnati's actually got talent. They just had a lot of injuries last year. They've actually got talent.
So. Detroit will be better. Stafford will be healthy.
Stafford will be back.
They're decent with Stafford, yeah.
So I don't see them getting to these 5 wins.
No. I think they'll definitely be a top 2 to 3 pick. So, yeah.
Well, speaking of tanking, let's go ahead and throw this other team in the mix here because Jacksonville is at 5 as well, and they've done very little to improve themselves for 2020.
They've regressed. I mean, their star defensive end still has not signed. He doesn't plan on playing for them. They didn't get any draft picks this year, so nothing can help him if he doesn't play.
They traded away Foles.
Yeah, traded away the quarterback. Got Minshew. I mean. Yeah, they're a train. Fournette, I mean, man,
you don't think the Gardners plant some seeds? You don't think they're going to grow this success?
I mean, the only thing they got is a few decent defensive pieces, including the kid from Kentucky.
Oh, Allen.
He was a hell of a player.
Should have been a Raider, but I digress.
Yeah, he had a nice rookie season, but they don't have enough pieces. I don't really think they're going to try to win a lot of games, quite frankly, because they're going to try to get Trevor Lawrence or Justin Fields from Ohio State. And I think they're going to try to pretty much tank the season, not even try. So
supposedly their defense is supposed to be good. They finished 28th against the run last year.
Yes, they did get shredded. You're right. So they got good defensive ends, but they have nothing that can stop. No middle linebackers, no defensive tackles that can.
You can't win like that.
No.
Well, I think last year when they were supposed to be so good, it was supposed to be a great unit, but it ended up being more like parts.
Well, and I think what it was, they just when a team gets down and they let go, that's what happened. They gave up.
They're getting no help from the offense, and it's like now we got it's 3 and out, 3. It's like you're like, dude.
Yeah, if you watch them play, it's just nasty.
So speaking of tanking, which one of these 2 teams are tanking harder, Washington or Jacksonville?
I'm going to say Jacksonville. Well,
I probably would have been on Washington because of everything going on there.
I'll say Washington just simply because I don't know how Rivera is going to even coach this year. And Rivera is a good coach. And if he's got cancer, I don't know what they're going to do. So,
I feel like with Washington, or they're both at 5 then, correct?
Yeah.
So I had more teams that I thought Jacksonville could at least play with on here, 6. But I don't think, again, the other one I could only come up with 5. So I feel like there's more of a chance possibly. I think Washington's just in a worse overall state as a team.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, of course, I will say this. I think does Jacksonville play a tougher division? Because they got like Tennessee, the Colts. They've got
Houston.
So
they probably,
I don't know.
They probably don't win a game there.
They might both win 3 or 4 games.
Jacksonville, they do have the Battle of Florida with the Finns. Finns beat them?
Yes.
So, we've already talked about Cincinnati's better than what they were.
Yeah.
Detroit's going to be better. So, at that point,
Well, not that this matters at all, but I'll tell you this line opened at 4.5 for Jacksonville, and it was bet up to 5. So there's people out there. There's people out there that think Jacksonville's going to win more.
Jeez. Oh, man, I don't see
Well, they still got Fournette.
And that's the list.
A 250-pound running back that runs a 4.7 40.
Was it last year or the year before where he broke a couple of those runs? It's like, how do you not catch him?
I don't. You probably don't want to catch him.
I guess, but it was impressive to see.
You want to get your face mask rearranged.
Yeah. Who is their wideouts? Is it DJ Chalk or
DJ Chalk
and
Westbrook? D.D. Westbrook, maybe?
I guess so.
Oh, God.
I don't know. Y'all are struggling, though.
Yeah.
So let's talk about some other teams here. So I have written down San Francisco, New Orleans, and Washington. Maybe we'll circle back around. Yeah. Who else?
Can I start?
Yes. Go ahead, Chalkboard.
We're all thinking about the same team.
Who you like?
Arizona.
Oh, dang.
Wow.
We did this last year with Cleveland, and look where it led us.
That's maybe what we should talk beforehand, because me and him already talked about it. Yeah,
That's what I had written on my forum. I was like, this will not be this year's Cleveland, right?
Okay.
Because we were all in agreement.
Go ahead.
I did not talk to you two guys about it.
So you got to pick another one now.
Not even the obvious reasons, but let's go with the obvious reasons. Now they got Nuke. I think the Kyler Murray's coming on.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just the team starting to – you kind of see like just the gelling at the end of last season, and I feel like it's 7. I feel like that it was when you all talked about whatever, it's the one thing that I actually circled in my blue pen that's what I circled 2 times. Arizona 7 just leaped off at me. And I know that you all talk about the last 5 or whatever, but I mean, I just feel like they're poised – it would be a disappointment if they were 8-8. I think they're at least 9-7, if not 10-6.
Well, here's the only problem I will say about that. They play in one hell of a division.
Yes.
I mean, San Francisco and Seattle could both go to the Super Bowl out of that division alone. I mean, and it's but man, they went out and got quite possibly the best wide receiver in football and didn't do anything but give up a running back that didn't even help them. I mean, it's insane to me. I mean, they got Murray, Drake came on for them at running back. They've got Hopkins. They've got
Still got Fitzgerald.
They've got
They
but
still put up good numbers last year.
yes, they gave San Francisco all they wanted. They should have beat Detroit, I believe. They lost to Detroit early in the year. I think at the end of the year they would have beat them if they played again. So, yeah, they had some games they should have probably won.
Well, I'll just go ahead and jump on this since we're all going to be in agreement here. I mean, I think Kenyon Drake looked great when they picked him up in midseason.
Yeah, former Dolphin.
Yeah, they do play in a tough division, but, man, their schedule lines up for them to get off to a really fast start, dude.
Well, and you're right. We do put too much emphasis on the division because there's a lot more than just those
But listen
games.
to this. 4 of their first 5 games, Washington, Detroit, Carolina, and the Jets.
Yeah.
If
you have
they
that
can
kind
get
of
off to a start,
you can take some divisional losses and still get there.
Yeah. I mean,
I agree. They've got the weapons. I agree. Kyler Murray is like a dark horse for MVP this year. And it can be done. We saw Lamar Jackson do it last year as a second-year quarterback. Right. So it can be done. Mahomes and Jackson both have had
I think Murray reminds me more of like a young oh my God, I can picture him in Seattle. I can't.
Russell Wilson.
Thank you. More so that because I think he scrambles when he has to, but he's not. I think he's pass first.
Oh yeah.
Patient. He's a little more patient.
More pocket oriented, but like you say, when it breaks down, he can just bust off a 25-yard run like nothing.
He throws a beautiful spiral, man. It's unbelievable for his size.
All right. We're all in agreement on Arizona, so that's going to be a play. So we'll regardless of how chalky it is, because now I feel like I just have flashbacks of Cleveland in my head, but we're going to move forward. So
he stole your play.
Exactly. T-Bone, since Chalkboard stole my play.
For some reason.
I'm going to give you a minute to regroup.
Since Chalkboard stole my play, T-Bone, please, go ahead.
Wait, just as a shout-out back to you, it's like, did he say Edgerrin James at a draft we were at some years ago, and I ended up taking
Cue the music.
You're dating yourself.
Yeah, it was a while. I remember James when he was at the Hurricanes.
He was excited. He's getting ready to play his draft music and shit. Yeah, denied. Oh, that was awesome.
Who you
That
got,
was
T-Bone?
funny shit. All right, I know this will not be popular as you look at the last 5 seasons of 12, 11, 13, 14, and 12. I'm going with the New England Patriots less than 9 wins this year. And I know that sounds crazy, but if you look at what all they've lost and not replaced really anything except for Cam Newton, and we haven't seen Cam Newton in a while, but they lost Tom Brady. They lost their leader on offense that wasn't a very good offense to begin with. Donta Hightower took the COVID way out. That's their leader on defense. They lost a ton of players in free agency, and they have just been decimated. I don't want to say that they're going to tank or anything, but this will be a perfect opportunity for them to kind of take a step back, to take a step forward.
It definitely takes a lot of responsibility off Belichick. I mean, it gives him an out for a year if he needs it.
Right. And don't get me wrong, because he's coming up on the chance to be the winningest coach of all time in the NFL, surpassing Don Shula. He's still got about 3 or 4 years. So he's not the kind of guy you can see really wanting to lose. but he's so smart that I think he could take a step back to take a step forward, basically. And I think the rest of the division has gotten better. I think Buffalo is now the best team in the division. Miami is continually looking better. The Jets, I'm not so sure about them, but New England's definitely not going to win like 5 out of 6 out of the division, and now they've got a tough schedule. I mean, you look at their schedule.
I was just going to say,
a meat grinder for a schedule.
There were two things I want to say. It's like New England is the toughest schedule.
Yeah.
.537, and actually second and third is the Jets and Miami, and Buffalo's fifth. So the AFC North, this is the year where it's like it's flipped, where they basically 4 out of the 5 teams have the toughest division. And then they're going to beat up on each other. And I know as a proud Dolphin fan, you've been standing there with that shovel full of dirt for years waiting for this.
Yeah, I think this is finally the year that Miami beats them at least once a year anyways. And
I remember last year. I think it cost us an over-under.
Yeah. So and don't get me wrong. It's not like I'm like, I definitely like a couple other things we've talked better or liked better, but I just think this is the year they go down.
Chalkboard New England, under 9. What do you think?
Well, I hate it where we keep being on the same thing, but I have to agree with all the points he made. 9, I just don't see it. I mean, at the best case scenario, if you're a Patriot fan, I see it being a push, 9-7. No way I see him being 10-6. I know we've said that before. Kind of takes us back to like the Spurs days when it's like, how's this team just keep going on? But if it was ever going to happen. So.
All right, New England in the under. So right now we have 2 plays that we're kicking around. Arizona the over, New England in the under. Chalkboard, did you have anything other than Arizona that you wanted to bring up?
I was so greedy to make sure I got that out there first before anyone spoke. What do you guys think about, well, because we did do Arizona, what do you think about the team that Hopkins left? Do you have any feel for the Texans one way or the other?
Yeah, I definitely think this is a team that will not do well this year. Their receiver core has been they still got a couple guys, but nothing spectacular.
You got Fuller, who seems like he always gets hurt.
Yeah.
I mean, when he plays, he looks pretty good, but
it's Kenny Stills. You got
you do have David Johnson.
Well, the other guy that always gets hurt, always has concussions. Brandon Cooks. So yeah, there's another guy that always gets hurt.
And how many years has it been since Watts played a whole season?
Yeah, Watts is beat up. Their offensive line still lets Watson get crushed quite a bit. They got David Johnson at running back. I mean,
right?
Is he going to be what he was 3 years ago? I mean,
I think one thing.
And they play a tough division.
But y'all, this line is only 7.5. So we're not talking about a ton of games. It just seems like I don't think.
I mean, don't get me wrong.
Hopkins,
it's not like it doesn't. Yeah, I know what you're saying.
I feel like they want you to take the under because I feel like they lost Hopkins and everybody's like, oh crap, they're going to suck.
I got something better.
Okay, go ahead.
Staying in the same state. What about them Cowboys?
I will say this. The Cowboys, to me, have loaded up. If they can't win at least 11 games with all this talent.
And it's 9.5.
Yes. I mean, they've gotten a lot better in the offseason from what they were. A lot better.
The way that receiver fell in their lap at the draft, we were on the phone.
That was just insanity. Yeah, I mean, they've got Gallup, CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper. They've got Ezekiel Elliott, an outstanding offensive line.
Dak Prescott.
He's still got great stats. I mean, he throws up numbers.
Ranking-wise, statistically.
And defense. They went out and spent a boatload of money on their defense. Now, they just lost McCoy for the year the other day, which kind of sucked, defensive tackle. But they're loaded on the interior of their defensive line. So, no, I like the over.
Well, McCarthy?
Sure. Yes, new coach.
Right.
I like them. Philadelphia didn't go out and really do much of anything.
That's what I was going to talk about, the rest of the division.
Philadelphia kind of stood still.
Yeah, and the Giants stink.
Washington
stinks. So
they're a team that could very easily go 4-2 in the division.
They should fight for the best record in the NFC. I mean,
I
like that one.
I do like.
I
Dallas
like the over in Dallas.
I like that.
All right, let's write that down. Dallas and the
now, here's
over.
one I just want to talk about because I don't know if I have a feeling. It's just what amazes me about it. Green Bay Packers won 13 games last year. Their total's 9. I mean 9, and And I don't think I can really have a strong conviction that they'll beat that 9 because they didn't really do much of anything to improve themselves. They didn't give Rodgers any more weapons.
It's just Rodgers and Adams, right?
Yeah, that's it. That's all they got. No new tight end, no shiny new wide receiver, a big bruising running back to go with Aaron Jones, who's already pretty decent.
As a matter of fact, let's draft your replacement, Aaron.
Yeah. So, does he come out mad? Does he put this team on his shoulders? Again, they have no crowd to help them along, which is, it's hard to win in Green Bay, but there's no crowd. There's no, I don't know.
I can't bet on Aaron
I don't
Rodgers.
have a feel for it.
Yeah, I know you already you've got a built-in hatred. But I just thought that was a weird stat. You 13 last year and you dropped all the way to 9, but you didn't really lose anything. You just didn't really gain a lot.
What I did on all these yesterday, it wasn't so much the fluctuation in the actual numbers themselves, but I was looking at the money line, whether it was a negative or positive money line. And this one, like I say, the way the money has come in to date, people are liking the Packers under, so they even like less than 9. I don't have a feel one way or the other.
I don't really. I just thought it was a weird thing. That's all I'm saying.
Well, they've been good for a while.
I like another one. The Rams under 8.5.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
The Rams under 8.5. I mean, they played a tough division. Every team is better than the Rams in that division, including Arizona, I think. They lost a lot of manpower off this team. And
they didn't look good. They didn't look good in 2019.
They didn't look good. No. They stumbled down the stretch. They didn't look good at all.
When Gurley got hurt, they didn't really have answers. They didn't really. I don't feel like they made adjustments.
No. Gurley's he's in Atlanta.
Gone. Yeah, he's gone. I don't. They've got Goff, who's up and down, and
You got Robert Woods.
and they don't have the defense of a San Francisco. So, yeah, they got Robert Woods and Cooper Kupp. Higbee at tight end, and they got a few weapons in the passing game, but they've lost a lot.
It falls to me sort of like a Green Bay. If you made me, I'd probably have to eyeball the under, just because of everything you just went over.
I mean, the whole McVay thing, I think that's starting to fade a little bit. And
Did you say McFade?
Wow.
All right, let's try to get some plays here, and we got to start wrapping this up. Time's rolling.
Good.
Okay, so we talked about San Francisco, New Orleans, Washington, Arizona, New England, Dallas, and the Rams. So we're all on Arizona. Do we agree?
Yes.
Yes.
Arizona over 7. That's going to be a play. Got it. All right. But he took my Arizona. My next strongest play, honestly, out of everything we've talked about, is San Francisco under 10.5.
I like that. I think it's a play. Yeah, I agree.
I concur.
Chalk. All right.
Wow.
So
comments over there.
San Francisco under 10.5.
I concur.
All right. So anything else out there y'all might want to put a couple shekels on?
Now, when we were debating between Baltimore and was it the Niners that you were up in the air?
Now, what about Seattle over 9.5? Do you think Seattle can at least get 10? Seattle kind of loaded up in the offseason too, man. I mean, they still got Russell Wilson.
So
easy an MVP
They've
candidate.
had 10 wins 4 of the last 5 seasons.
Yeah, I mean
they haven't really regressed anywhere.
I mean,
It's more of some teams coming up. I'm sorry, I don't keep cutting you off. Some teams have come up that they're playing. Go ahead, E.
I think COVID could affect that team more than any.
really.
Well, yeah, because the Pacific Northwest and everything going on out there.
Travel, lack of fans.
Lack of fans everywhere. They were a better road team last year.
True, they
Yeah,
were
they
road
were.
warriors.
They were a road team.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah.
I think right now, well, every year it seems like he doesn't get it, but Wilson's probably, in the top 5 right off the bat MVP.
Are the Saints one of our plays?
No, right now all we got is
I love
Arizona.
the Saints. That to me.
Over the 10.5?
Saints, yeah, I like the Saints play. That's me. If we got to go with 3, I like the Saints.
To me, I know
go 3.
you probably both like the Saints better than Baltimore, right?
I do.
I like the Saints better than Baltimore.
Yeah, I agree.
Wait, I got a ringing in my ear from your endorsement. So I can feel the enthusiasm about the Saints.
I feel like there's something out there that you really want to put money on. You just
No,
can't.
I mean, we've kind of brushed over all the teams that I'd be interested in, to borrow your term,
If
throw
we're
some
just going
shekels at.
3, that would be my third team, is what I'm saying.
I mean, we could do 4. There's no rules.
So will you do the Saints and the Ravens?
I think I like Seattle's chances of getting to 10 wins.
More than 12 with Baltimore?
Yeah, 12 is a tough nut. Man.
I'd rather take 12 is. I'd rather take New England in the under than get another team over 12 wins in a season with so many uncertainties.
More of 2 overs, 2 unders?
I'm just telling you, I'd rather do an under.
I like New Orleans. I think New Orleans is due for a bounce back. I think because I think Kamara's going to be better.
New Orleans, New England will have two unders, 2 overs, and a bit.
So New Orleans over 10.5.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
And New England under
9.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, under 9.
And that's what we're going to do? We're going to call that?
A bit. 2 overs, 2 unders.
So just another side note I wrote down because New England had been so dominant for so long. Do you know, going back to Kansas City, the last time that a team won back-to-back Super Bowls, obviously it was New England. It was 15 years ago. They did it in 04 and 05.
Oh.
So, I mean, even when we see all these great teams, nobody has gone back-to-back. You know, as far as just people just wanting to hand it to the Chiefs, I mean, we see great teams. I'm not saying the Chiefs can't.
But like you said, this could be such a weird year with no fans. So this might be the time when the team that is the best team actually
It would be so 2020 for the Chiefs to go back to back.
Get your Arizona Super Bowl futures in.
Oh, shit.
40-1. 50
I saw
get you
you got some
2,000.
great
I would like to put some money down on Murray for MVP. I mean, I'm sure you get pretty good odds.
Oh, I'm sure we can. All right, dudes. All right, let's try to wrap this up some. So we got our official plays here. Official House Money Podcast plays Arizona over the 7, San Francisco under 10.5, the New Orleans Saints over 10.5, and the New England Patriots under 9. That would be fun rooting against them all year. We didn't even bring up Miami, T-Bone. Tua going to play? He going to start?
No, I don't think Tua will play. He's not ready. He's still getting acclimated. And again, like we said earlier, he's a rookie. He's coming off that injury. If he plays, it'll be later in the year. If they take the bubble wrap off of him, it'll be later in the year. And right now, like you said, no preseason games, he's...
I figured they'd really be working him at practice, something like some Tua-days.
Stop. That's awful.
He did his own.
I know, dude.
People can see him now.
The bell away.
Oh, that's right. I forget we're on TV now.
He's on TV.
No, you got to get away from the bell. All right, Chalkboard. Are you gonna return crystal ball predictions? Are they coming back this year?
Oh yeah. Well, not that it was ever thought that it would not happen, but I've got some texts and some things from some guys in the league. So yeah, they all want it back, so it's coming back. So it is a locker room favorite as much as the fans like it. So
absolutely, I'm glad to hear it. T-Bone, Sizzler choice cuts.
Yeah, it'll be back. Not now. I mean, I don't know.
I thought he's got to grill you about that.
It's funny you say that. I already have a week 1 bet in. Anybody else put in a week 1 bet?
No, not yet. Who do you got?
I got the Eagles, and I got them at 6 because I know it's going the other way. They play the Washington football team. And I got it at 6. And
got it before the touchdown.
Oh, yeah. It's going to get up to 7 or more.
Yeah.
Everybody in the front office in Washington's new, and everybody in Philadelphia returns, including Deshaun Jackson.
Yeah. To your point, yeah, they'll be healthy. Yeah, they got Ertz. They got yeah.
And with no preseason, you mean to tell me? And the Eagles, they have their offensive weapons early in the season until everybody gets hurt. But
right.
Yeah, because we got a big following in Philly. It's like you say, you want to get on the Eagles early.
Absolutely. After week 5, it's who knows. But hey, this year, fellas, season 3. We mentioned it earlier. We got a YouTube channel now. Please like and subscribe us. Share us with your friends. Social media page. We're on Facebook. Moving up in the world. Wow, it takes 3 years for us to get a Facebook.
I still don't have one.
Oh, there you go.
I got 3 dormant ones. Yeah.
Speaking of something else, Twitter at House Money Pod. T-Bone, you got Twitter yet?
Yeah, I think I got one. I forgot my password. I had to look it up.
I didn't notice that because I do live in a little bit of the Twitterverse, and it's like I did see. I think T-Bone, you're following no one, and I think you have like 3 followers. So kudos to those people.
Wow, I've got
Nice
3
job.
followers.
Chalkboard.
2 of them maybe in this room.
Chalkboard, you went down this social media path a few years ago. How many followers are you up to today, my man?
We started it when the show started, and I really hadn't, I had a flip phone. So, I'm trying to get drug into this too. We are currently sitting on, as of today, 1,150. 1150.
Nice.
So,
Nice.
moving up.
1150. All right.
So, together we got like over 1,150.
1153.
There you go.
So Chalkboard can still be found at Chalkboard, CHALKBORED _HM.
There you go. Hey, this year I know typically this is the point in the show where I shout out our man Dallas Jenkins, executive producer, but we have moved those responsibilities to a new fella this year, Z-Man, holding down the fort, making us sound great and look great. We appreciate you.
Thank you, Z, for all you do.
There you go.
Dallas, we wish you well in all the future endeavors as well. It was a pleasure, sir.
I'm trying to think of Z, what rhymes with Z. I'll come up with something later. Z. Yeah, okay.
All right.
We can call him Zima. We can say.
Well, week one show releasing Thursday, September 10th. So we'll be back in here Wednesday, September 9th, recording. We'll have some real lines, and we'll get some real bets out there, some of this over-under stuff.
Exciting game at Kansas City with the Texans.
Yeah, I mean, it should be. I mean, the first week is going to be crazy. I mean, again, like we said, no crowds, it's going to be different. So, yeah, we'll have to play it accordingly. It's just going to be, how's it going to affect everything? We'll find out after the first week. So,
we could be making changes on a week by week basis.
Yeah,
you never know you have no idea what we're going to get this season.
You don't know about lineups, just everything. Yeah, it's going to be different. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. All right, final words, chalkboard. What do you think?
I think, like both of you guys are talking about, it's just going to be a strange new world, and we'll just have to learn as we go. But I wouldn't want to learn with any two other guys. I think we'll figure it out, and we'll be winners again this year.
T-Bone.
Yes, it's been a shitty off season, but I'm so glad that football's here to pull me out of this doldrums that is my life, or what my life has become. Thank you, Roger Goodell. Thank you, NFL. Thank you.
No doubt. On that note, thank you for listening. Thank you for being a part of House Money Podcast Season 3. Please like us. Please subscribe. Please tell your friends. Fellas, anything else?
Nope.
Screw China.
There we go.
That's all I got.
Looking forward to 2 weeks from tomorrow.
House Money Podcast. We're out.